for something so scary, it'll make the hairs on your ass turn white. But it's a lot of hard work for me. Now, if you had something to drink or a couple of groschen, that might help loosen my tongue.
Oi.
To your health, my friend.
Where am I?
Thank you very much. I knew you wouldn't leave me high and dry. So what kind of story would you like to hear?
I'm far too old for fairy tales. Tell me a scary story. One with blood and violence.
Don't you worry. I've got just the one. I just hope you don't shit yourself with fear. So, once upon a time, there lived in these very lands 2 brothers. The older was called Kuba, the younger, Matthias. They were both woodcutters, like their father and his father before him. One day, at the height of summer, they were working in the woods. The air was as hot as a furnace, so Matthias went to a nearby pond to cool himself. But as he was leaning over the cold water, there was a loud splash. His axe had got loose from his belt. In haste, he began to search the muddy bed of the pond, and his hands soon touched something hard and heavy. He pulled it out and could not believe his eyes. He pulled out an axe. Yes, but not his old one. It was an axe made of pure silver.
Good God. I'd grab that without a second thought.
Maybe you would, but Matthias would never. He was an honest man, and with a big swing he threw the silver axe back. He searched the pond again, and this time he pulled out his own axe. Nothing but dull iron and old wood.
I reckon that was the right choice. Who knows who the silver axe belonged to?
Well, quite. Listen on. Matthias was just about to leave when suddenly a water goblin came out of the pond, silver axe in his hands, and he said, "You're a righteous man, Matthias, and for your honesty, you may keep both axes." Matthias, not hanging around for the goblin to change his mind, took up both axes, gave us thanks, and ran to tell Kuba all about it. Kuba, however, was not best pleased with his little brother's fortune. He deeply envied Matthias for his newfound wealth. So, he set out to try the same thing. He ran as fast as his legs could carry him straight to the pond, threw his own axe in, and began a pretend search for it. Yet Kuba had no luck. He pulled out the axe he'd thrown in himself. So he tried again. Tricked by sunlight, he grabbed something shiny, only to pull out his old iron axe again. Enraged, he hurled his axe back into the water and yelled, "Fuck this axe! I want a silver one!" But the water goblin heard his shameful cry and was greatly upset by Kuba's greed. So, when Kuba reached down into the water for a third time, the water goblin seized his hand, pulled him down a hole to the dark depths, and drowned him.
That's so cruel. I feel sorry for Kuba.
Aye, and so did Matthias. He went to the water goblin and begged for his brother's body so he could take him home and bury him. But the path back from the pond led over a steep hill, and carrying the weight of the waterlogged body exhausted Matthias. He stopped to rest by an old oak tree, and he used the silver axe to cut off a branch that would serve as a walking stick. But it wasn't enough. Somehow, it was still getting harder to continue up the hill. Then Matthias realized it wasn't his brother's body that was weighing him down. It was the silver axe. The axe was the cause of all this trouble. So he started bashing the silver axe against a big stone with all his might, trying to destroy it. Yet no matter what, he couldn't even make a dent. With the last of his strength, Matthias climbed to the top of the hill. He knew he could go no further, so he found a pretty spot with a view over the valley and dug his brother a grave. There, he buried both his brother and the silver axe that had brought such pain upon them. His final act was to stick the oak branch in the ground by the grave. But lo and behold, the branch grew green leaves and became a tree. The locals have had no dealings with the water goblin since then, but some have had the bad luck to bump into him. And when you walk by the pier, where it all happened, you can still hear his chuckling.
That was a very nice story.
Story? What story? It's the truth.
Why hasn't anyone gone looking for the axe, then?
Because it brings misfortune. Didn't you listen to me at all? Look for yourself if you wish. Rock Tower Pond isn't far from here. The Water Goblin's Pier is somewhere among the reeds. But leave me out of it. I'm fine here with my drink. Good to see you, my friend.
Onde que é esse menininho? Vai ter sininho. Vê? A voz dela. Aliás, tô pertinho de missão.
It happens! Just watch where you're going next time. As postes resolvidas do pasto.
Huh?
How's it going?
Just like any other day, I reckon. Nothing worth mentioning.
How are the sheep? Do you have any trouble with wolves?
Not really. There were a few prowling around recently, but we managed to chase them off. I'm keeping an eye out for them. But other than that, herding is a bloody bore. I come here every day, eat the lunch my sister makes for me, and stare at the sheep.
I've got to go. Take care.
Aye, you too. Farewell, my friend.
Hungry. How are those sheep?
Same old, same old. Bleating and eating.
I've got to go. Take care.
Aye, you too. See you soon, my friend. Don't fuck with my sheep!
Oh my god. Então, tá, todas as manhãs.
A bit longer without food and I'll really start to be grumpy.
God bless you.
Who's herding livestock in this village?
Depends. The young lads take turns. Now it's Manca's brother, Alshik. It was good to see you, my friend. What would you like?
What do you have for sale?
I hope you'll be satisfied. Take care.
He's gonna push some.
Hail!
Did I forget to add salt? Ave Maria.
Beer over gold, I say.
Why are you wasting my time if you don't...
What's new around here?
Nothing new. It's quiet here, fortunately. God be with you. What would you like?
Huh? Didn't my past.
I'm done with the sheep.
Ha ha! Great! How did it go? Tell me.
Well, I scattered their sheep like you wanted.
That's perfect.
I also trampled their laundry, like you mentioned.
You did? That must have been quite unpleasant for them. They'll have to start over.
That's all I can manage. I hope it's enough.
You did great, lad. You deserve a reward for your heroic deeds, and with a bit on top as well, like I promised. Since you did such a good job.
Thanks, Oldham.
Don't mention it. You're a handy fella, but you could be even better with my help, of course. They say I'm a good teacher. And listen, one more thing. We'll be meeting the Tacovites soon to discuss the pasta they stole from us. I'd like you to come with us. If you're not against it, that is.
Why don't you like the Tacovites?
Because they're wankers. Arrogant wankers. Think they're above everyone else? But mainly, they stole our pasture, which has belonged to Giliov since time immemorial.
How does someone steal a pasture, anyway?
Like a prick, that's how. Behind Takov, there's this strip of land leading toward the pond. It's supposed to belong to us. For grazing, there's an old tree there, and everything between the tree and the woods is ours. I was there when it was decided. I was about your age then, and I got a good beating under that tree, so I remember. And you can bet your ass I remember.
They beat you up under the tree. Why would they do that?
You bet they did. That's just how it's done, obviously. When we agree on something like this, we take a young lad and give him a good pummeling, so that he'll remember in case the others forget. And we pick a young boy because he had a good memory and, God willing, still has many years in front of him. It makes sense?
Aye, you're right. I remember we used to do the same back where I'm from. But how did they steal it from you?
Because they don't believe me. Those treacherous bastards. They lie about it wherever they can, saying the deal was different. And it was a different tree near the forest.
Can anything be done about it? Can't you make some kind of agreement?
Well, we meet there every year. I tell them how we did, while they dispute their usual lies. So we kick each other's asses, and everything just stays the way it is. A while back, we fought for a right to use at least half of it. But because I grazed my castle there, I paid those bastards for using their half as well. That's not fair. All of it is supposed to be ours by law, for fuck's sake.
Aye, that's a tricky situation.
Tricky my ass. The greedy liar. Simple as that.
Did you take your pasture dispute to Lord von Berghoff?
Of course we did. He asked the Thrusk of his bailiff to resolve it, and he said we should sort it out amongst ourselves. And that he heard about it ever again, he'll have both me and Project flogged. So that's that.
Good to see you.
Whoa!
Wait, that's my Pebbles, my girl. I thought they killed you down by that pond.
How can I help you today, friend?
That grey horse you have grazing here is mine.
What do you mean, yours? I bought it fair and square. I admit, it was only for a few groschen from some suspicious lad who found it down by the Rock Tower Pond, but that horse is not branded, so it belongs to me now.
She's my horse. I rode in on her from Rattay, in the retinue that was attacked down by the pond.
Right. You happen to need a new horse, and this one just happens to be the one you already own. Does it have your brand? It does not. So you are out of luck.
Look, you know they attacked an entourage by that pond, right?
I heard about it. That news spread through the land like wildfire.
And the one who sold it to you told you he found it by the pond, right?
Well, he did, aye.
So it's not entirely impossible she belonged to me.
Maybe not impossible, but I paid for her.
Aye, but just a few groshens. You said so yourself. Wouldn't you rather be in the good graces of someone who might have been part of that expedition?
Maybe so. All right, I'll give her to you. But you owe me one. Go and get her then. If she remembers you, she might even come when you whistle for her. Don't forget to get some proper tack as well. What is this? Are you whistling just for fun?
This must be the ugliest horse I've seen in my life.
So I says to him, "No, father. I haven't been fornicating. I've just been loving my neighbour."
Hey! You alright there, laddie?
Oh, you should have seen him. He went as red as a cardinal's hat. Aye. Hey, servant, bring some wine.
Me? No, I'm not a servant.
Oh, I know. Old Serene is saving supplies for the wedding later. But you didn't need to bother your wee head about that.
Look, I'm not from here.
Oh. I didn't give a fuck where you're from.
You speak our language, do you not?
Well, Yurko, seems to me this fella doesn't know how to behave toward his betters.
The old man's hired hands are lacking in manners. We'll soon fix that. You're in for an ass kicking, you piece of shit. Fucking hell!
You're a dead man. You know that?
Cut the bullshit and fight!
You fight like an old hag.
Bastard!
Oh.
I'll break your bones! Come on. Oh, you wee bastard!
The devil's name is fucking going on here?
What do you think's going on, Grandad? I'm teaching your people. Well, here, how we do things. Grandad? Why, Grandad? An old captain like you probably still remember the flood.
True enough, Yurko. I am old. And I remember all sorts of things. Like you. When you were a little nipper running around your bare arse with a ribbon in your hair, screaming out how you was Princess Sophie. Poor lad hadn't a moment's peace from his big sisters.
A bit that way.
Who in God's name are you?
Henry. The Takoff blacksmith sent me. Radovan.
Blacksmith, eh? Then you'll have some explaining to do. Come along and never mind that fool Yurko. Young Samin's getting married, so we has to put up with his kin from Moravia.
We'll be needing a dozen geese. And I must tell Vashek to get 3 pigs ready for slaughter. And the carters will have to be sent to Yetchin to get at least a peck of poppy seed for cakes. And gingerbread spices. Oh, and wine, too. It's almost all gone. What we bought only last week.
Enter!
Sorry to intrude, sir. This is Henry, blacksmith Radovan's hand.
Oh, excellent. Dorothy, leave us now. Just make sure that there's plenty of everything so long as it doesn't cost too much.
But, sir...
Not another word! Leave us! So Radovan sent you alone. Who's going to unload it all? It's a whole cartload.
Yeah, Radovan sent me, sir, but not with the goods. The thing is, he's missing his cart, along with the carter in his hands.
What? But they never came here. Are you telling me they got lost?
Well, I couldn't tell you what happened to them, sir, but it's my job to find them.
There are all sorts of vermin roaming the countryside.
Oh, no need to imagine the worst right off, gnarly. Anyway, I need the load from that cart, so saddle up your old nag and we'll ride out, Captain. I could do with a breath of fresh air. I've had it up to the eyeballs with counting geese and pies.
What about Henry here, sir?
Well, what about him?
We could use an extra pair of hands. You know how my shoulders are acting up. Yurko is shit-faced, and your son...
The older has work to do. All right, take Henry with you if you want. Just so long as he doesn't slow us down.
Thank you, sir. So, lad, you going with us? I hope you're happy about it.
Yeah. I'll be glad to help you.
Oh, you reckon we can't manage on our own?
No. That's not how I meant it.
Take it easy, son. I'm only yanking your pizzle. So, do you know what to do? Or have you got any more questions?
Actually, there is something I'd like to ask about. And you, sir? What is it you do?
Well, son, I wonder if I haven't made a mistake about you. If you haven't figured me out by now, you can't be very bright.
No. I just meant, what exactly is it you do for Lord Semi? And your name isn't exactly very common.
I'm the captain here, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you what a captain does. As for my name, it's a nickname Lord Semine's grandpa gave me. May he rest in peace. When I joined his service as a young fella, I took my Nardi club with me. Wouldn't use anything else. I was used to it. And more than once helped me to, win an argument. I broke many a hard skull with it. And it's still in one piece. We've been together so long, we even share the same name.
You're lucky you didn't turn out to be Captain Knob.
Or Captain Headcracker. You're right.
This Yurko and his mates, who are they?
They're Lord Semine's kin. They're fine as long as they don't get too much booze inside them.
Only they're from Moravia, so they're never far from the booze.
But what can I tell you, lad? Each to himself. Besides, they stick with the family when push comes to shove. And you can't say that about everyone.
I'd like to go and see that wedding.
Wouldn't we all, lad? And what would you do there?
I'd eat and drink my fill and check out the local maidens.
I hope Lord Semine didn't hear you. He'd be none too pleased to hear you want to take part in such a grand affair, just to stuff your face and roll an A with some drunken wench.
I beg your pardon, Captain, but that's what most fellas go to weddings for.
That's an unspoken truth, son. Unspoken, mind. Anyways, you're Radovan's hand, ain't you? He'll be coming to the wedding. He's making a wedding gift for the groom. Stick with him, and maybe he'll take you with him.
We should probably get going.
That we should. But it's getting pretty late. We need daylight for a search like that. Come back in the morning and we'll set out. If you want, stay here. You'll get a bit of grub in the kitchen and you can sleep in the barn.
God bless.
I'm sorry.
Don't get ideas. I wasn't at my best. I'm not gonna scrap with you again.
You've got quite an unusual accent. Where are you from?
Can't you tell? From Znojmo in Moravia. Lovely country. All vineyards and bonny lasses.
Well, you don't like it here.
You see any vineyards and bonny lasses here? The locks are broad, all right. They didn't exactly lift your spirits, but more the other way around.
You're related to the Semis, if I understood right.
Aye, I wouldn't dare be here otherwise. My great-grandmother married young Lord Semine's great-uncle. It's not every day that your, first cousin, once removed, gets married.
You're a long way from Moravia. You must hold Lord Semyon in high esteem.
My pa holds all his kin in high esteem, so he sends us all over the place. But we didn't have all far to go. We were at a wedding in Wattenberg last week, a wee bit from Yiglaver. Before that, it was a bairn's christening at Koschenberg, and another wedding in Dalchin. Then a friendly visit to our kin, the Shellbergs in Kuhlberg. That's all I mind. I haven't been home for 6 months, and I didn't care.
Whoa! Whoa!
What would you like?
Show me your wares.
Take care then. Thanks for nothing.
I'd like to buy a horse.
All you have to do is pick the right one. I will take care of it.
I already...
I will put a price on it. I'm sure we'll... And if you have a particularly fine horse, who knows? Have you taken a look at our horse? You do know they differ in more than just the...
What should I be looking out for?
Each horse has different characteristics, which affects the price. If you take a close look at them, you will see what attributes each horse has. Do you want to go and have a look at them?
I reckon that's a good idea.
Go on then. No need to be afraid.
I feel quite...
What can I do for you?
Show me your wares.
Oh well, what can you do? Farewell then. What is it? Are you whistling just for fun? What are you whistling for?
This hooved monster here.
Easy, good horse. I can't swim. Whoa!
I'm sorry.
A bit longer without food, and I'll really start to be grumpy.